Hey guys, this is John from US Dash Camera. Today I got a review on an Anker product. Now this one is not, as you can see, a dash camera, but Roav is Anker's brand that makes car products, and most of their products are dash cameras. Now I do have reviews on all of those dash cameras. I do like them quite a bit. I'll post links down in the description for those reviews, but this right here is the Smartcharge Bluetooth wireless FM transmitter. So the idea is you plug it into your cigarette port and your phone will connect to it via Bluetooth, and then it can transmit over the radio, or you can also use the auxiliary port if your vehicle has an aux in. So it does have, you can see there, the charging port with the IQ technology. IQ, that just means it knows how much power to give your device. This one, I believe, charges more than this one, so if you connect your phone to here, it's going to be very slow. I found that out, at least the original one. Now, I've had a couple of these, which we'll get into, so they did update it because I was having issues with mine. And some of you may have seen that I had a vlog about Anker reviews quite a while ago. I think it was last summer already, and this was in that video, but it's been many months coming because I just wasn't having luck with it. But in the end, Anker pretty much came through, and I want to talk about that. So here you can see you got a phone option, and next or back and next if you want to change songs. You can hit that to answer the phone or hang up if you don't want to use your phone. Other than that, it's very basic. There is an app also, a smartphone app, which doesn't show it here, but I will show some clips of that. The smartphone app will allow you to change the radio station on here. When this is plugged in, you'll see it lights up little digital numbers, what radio station you're on if you're using the FM transmitter. So you can change the radio station with these buttons, or you can do it through the app. Now, for some people, like the car I'm mainly using this in is a Prius, and I plug this into the console but between the seats. So if you are using the FM transmitter, that smartphone app is pretty nice, because then you don't have to mess around with it because it might be in a weird place. Now the smartphone app also allows you to check your battery voltage and also where you parked. Now that's sort of a neat feature, but unfortunately I think it's sort of pointless, because if you have a smartphone, Google Maps and Waze, I'm not sure about Apple Maps, but at least Google Maps and Waze already can mark where you're parked. So it's it's sort of a feature basically built into phones now, because everyone has Google Maps, at least on their Android phone. Again, I'm not sure about Apple Maps, but the feature's there, so it's sort of cool. Now, the issue I was having with my original one, and actually this isn't my original one, this is the second one I got. What was happening was, it was I am assuming some sort of ground feedback loop that was just making the audio unbearable, and I've tested it with other people in the car, and one person didn't notice it that much, but it varies by car too. So I originally got this to use in my work truck, and there's a couple different trucks that my company have, and one of them doesn't have an aux port. So I thought, I want it to work either over the aux or at least the FM transmitter, one or the other, without that horrible sound. So I'll give you guys a listen to what that sounds like. And when I accelerate, I don't know if it's because it's somehow the ground is bad and it's like picking up the alternator or what, but it's really irritating. So that was whether I used the FM transmitter or with the auxiliary cable, and it was just driving me crazy. I contacted Anker and they asked me a few questions. They ended up sending me a new one, but I sort of questioned the person. To be honest, wasn't that helpful. It was just like the first level of support, and I insisted that, you know, something is wrong with the design. There's some sort of ground issue or whatever. I'm not an electrical expert, but either way, they just sent me another one. Sure enough, it had the exact same problem, so I was pretty disappointed. I ended up buying this little device, which is awesome. It is a noise isolator. I'm guessing the way it works is it probably just filters out certain frequencies. So now the whole reason I ended up buying one of these is because I had one of these cheap ones, Tautronic. So this plugs into the auxiliary port, and then it acts the same way. You connect to it via Bluetooth and has similar functions like play, pause, next, back. You can answer phone calls. The issue with this one though was it has a battery, so every once in a while I had to charge it up, and when that's plugged in and charging in the 12-volt port, there is that feedback loop, and it made that same awful interference noise. So I was hoping that, you know, this wouldn't have that, since it would be just connected in the 12-volt port and not again somewhere else. And that's the case now, like I said, with the new one, if you're using the FM transmitter. But for whatever reason, in the 2008 Silverado, like I said, it did have that sound still. Now, overall, you know, these are nice and they're really cheap, but I personally would prefer to buy this. And I did buy this. I don't receive any of the Anker products for free or on loan or anything. I paid for them all, and I would still buy these over this, because either you're going to have this plugged in plus charging all the time, or you might want to use the battery, but either way, once in a while you got to charge it. It's sort of inconvenient. So all in all, I wanted to keep this review pretty short. Overall, I'm satisfied with the level of support Anker gave. It's a little disappointing that for whatever reason in my work truck it still has that sound when I'm using the auxiliary cable, but I can just deal with using the FM transmitter. Even if the audio quality is a little less, it's still way better than not having Bluetooth connection in your car. So something I would love to see in the future is Anker does sell a couple other similar devices, like one with Alexa, and it would be cool to see them combine the multiple different devices they have all into one, because they have a couple, I think there's 3 different accessories like this, and they all do a little different variation of features from each other. So that would be cool to see that. And I did see a patent for a Viva X. The Viva is another one of their smart charger type things, and the Viva X, I believe, is going to add the FM transmitter. So anyways, like I said, I really like this. It's really convenient. My Prius is an '07, doesn't have Bluetooth in it, so I love that I can use my phone and play Spotify in my Prius, just like my newer cars, I should say, that I've owned. And again, I like to use it in my work truck, because those are all older trucks too with out Bluetooth, and one, like I said, doesn't even have an auxiliary port. So overall, I'd recommend it. If you're interested in it, check it out. Keep in mind though, I'm not sure if all of them for sale are going to have this issue resolved. I asked Anker what they changed, and they said they couldn't divulge that, just for competition reasons. They don't want their secret out or whatever. But if you do have an issue, you know, these aren't that big of a deal, 10, 12 bucks, and it solves the issue. I'm okay with it because it goes into my console, so I don't see it ever. But again, it's just something to consider. So if you're interested, of course, there's links down in the description to where you can purchase this. And if you like this video or my other videos, I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. And so as usual, drive safe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.